Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Next Level Lifestyles, where we feature various locations and lifestyles worldwide. And today I have a phenomenal guest, one of my oldest childhood friends, Ksenia. Welcome, Ksenia.
Hi guys, how are you?
I'm great. How are things going with you?
They're going great. So I just moved to St Augustine, Florida, as you know, from the north side of things, but I couldn't be happier down here.
Oh my gosh. And before we unpack that, I just want to share with all of our listeners here. So Ksenia and I, we go way back to the old Ukrainian community where we grew up, got into a lot of trouble, and now we've made it.
Absolutely. So we were as thick as thieves back when we were kids, camping, doing the whole Ukrainian thing. And I grew up in Westchester and Yonkers, New York. And as soon as I turned 18, moved out to Manhattan. I knew I had to leave, went to Baruch College and stayed in Manhattan for 12 years. And then my husband and I, we bought a house and moved out to the burbs of Jersey, Rahway, New Jersey. And then most recently with the pandemic, we decided to make a big change and move all the way out to St. Augustine, Florida.
Thanks, and I'm so grateful that you're spending some time with us because let's be real, there's so many people that are so afraid of the unknown, afraid of change. And the fact that you've truly experienced 4 distinct locations and lifestyles is something that is quite inspiring. I mean, what are we, 32 now? 30?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 4 locations, right? So before we unpack that, so share with me, and I know we talked a little bit before we started rolling, AKA we started the podcast, the internet broke, now here we are again. But you were sharing how with each move, it's kind of an evolution of, you know, where you are and where you're going, right? And there's different pros and cons to each location. Is that correct?
Yeah. So what I was touching on was the fact when you're in a major city, you're always having to give up at least one of these 3 items, whether it's time, space, or money. So, when we made our most recent move to the suburbs of New Jersey, that's when we're like, okay, we've had great commutes, but we've had to give up space. So we were ready for backyards. We got a 3-bedroom house for just the 2 of us. And that's kind of the evolution as you get older of what's important to you and you prioritize that. Having to pay your own rent, pay your own tuition, jumped right into the hospitality industry, bartending. So kind of really grew a network of people in that industry. And, I'm still in the industry now, over a decade later. But lifestyle wise, I mean, I was going to bed at 9 a.m. and waking up way late in the afternoon. So it was great for the 20s. As we all talk about, change is necessary for progress. So you have to keep evolving and you have to keep challenging yourself.
I love that. And so let's talk a little bit about how you went to the burbs of New Jersey and what was that like? And then what kind of pushed you towards St. Augustine?
Once my husband and I got engaged, that was really a pivotal point where I started thinking about our future and what we can do. So that's when I was like, I've had a great run in Manhattan, but there's nothing to show for it. I've spent almost $200,000 in rent from the time that I lived there. And I don't even have a property to show for it. So that really propelled us to say, okay, let's make this next step. I was fine going wherever we wanted as long as we bought our own house, because I wanted it to set us up for the future. And so that's what made us move. And what I loved is having my own time and space away from Manhattan allowed me to get a better workout in, have a better lifestyle, cooking 3 times a day, and kind of realizing what's important. You can't make yourself better if you're not working on yourself on a daily basis. So it's these little things that you have to focus on every day to be able to improve yourself in the long run. So we couldn't be happier. We loved our house. It was such an upgrade. With the pandemic, New Jersey has the highest property taxes in all of the US. So what we were spending alone in property taxes plus income taxes, we started to look at other places that would be more beneficial, more aligned with us. And we road tripped down to South Carolina. We went to Charleston. We went to Myrtle Beach, and it didn't stick out on us as much.
Environment, the people we surround ourselves with. So if a space or a situation or relationship is not good for you, it's always good to make adjustments so that way you are able to live your truest, happiest version of yourself. And sometimes you can't do that. I believe, like you said, we have to change 1% every day. Like that's my thing, is like, let me get 1% better every day. By the end of the year, you're like totally like all ready to go, like so much growth, you know what I mean? It's like the compound effect of change. But it is, right? But it is so scary for people to kind of like, okay, the fear of the unknown. So let's talk about how you were able to bust through any of like the limiting beliefs or the fears around where I'm going next, right? Like making the move from Manhattan to like Yonkers, you know, where you grew up, to New York City, then to New Jersey, like that's all kind of in the same area, to explore the different lifestyles in Myrtle Beach, Charleston, you know, and then finally Florida. Like that's definitely a much larger scenario because you maybe don't have much of experience. You don't know as many people that have maybe made that kind of move, right? Because of the proximity. So kind of speak to how you're able to kind of bust through the fears and kind of just make things happen for yourself.
You're making a decision either way, whether you move or not. So you have to decide what that decision is, because you not moving is a decision in itself. And so fear exists. Doesn't mean fear is not there, but you can't let it control your life. And as I said, staying stagnant is a decision in itself. And fear shouldn't be what controls your decision. It can be there, you can acknowledge it, but it shouldn't run your life. You could fail just staying where you are, you know, so why not take the chance?
Damn, I hope everyone's listening. I hope everyone's like really got their ears like open to that line, because it just bust through the fear, bust through the limiting beliefs. And it's so true. Like whether you decide to stay or go, you're still making a decision, right?
You know, when the pandemic hit with my work being closed, we ventured out, bought a investment property. We said, all right, there's a pandemic, you know, it's hitting the elderly. Let's invest in a 55 plus community, because I'm sure there's going to be people wanting to get their parents out of nursing homes. So that's why we invested in a 55 plus. You know, we never did anything like it, but we fixed up the entire thing and got it sold the week that I returned to work. We closed on the house.
Love it. I love that. Super strategic and, you know, kind of evolving and pivoting, like, okay, where am I going to put my time and energy? Like maybe the world's not moving, but how can I keep myself moving, you know, always forward? That's your thing. And I love that, like growth, you know?
And the reason we didn't pick Jacksonville is because it was another major city. St. Augustine is the oldest city in the US. So it's got a lot of culture, and it's in St. Johns County, which is the safest county in Florida. So safety was a huge driving force. I had to drive to Manhattan towards once the business reopened, I had to drive to Manhattan, and you've never seen Manhattan like that. You know, it was very scary. You know, so many people just doing drugs on the street, things of that nature. And I didn't realize how much it was taking an effect on me until I could leave my house, walk with my dog, and feel safe as hell without anything. No keys, no wallet. Like I just walk out my door. You know, we don't even have to lock our houses. It's so safe here.
Any advice, resources, anything you want to pay forward to someone that's considering this move?
So I would say the pandemic, while, you know, it was, you know, God bless everyone that lost their lives or anyone that, you know, fell ill during it, but it also is a blessing in disguise because everyone got to take a pause and focus on what's really important and spend time with the people that they truly love and care about. And when you realize that's what's important in life, then, going to a job every day seems insignificant. So you want to really take this opportunity to reevaluate your life. Ask yourself, is this where I want to be? Do I want to be here in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? Where do I see myself and what's important to me? And taking this time to make a pivotal change, if that's what works for you and that's what's important for you.
With that, Ksenia, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our audience for tuning in to another episode of Next Level Lifestyles, where we feature various locations and lifestyles worldwide. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.